Hi there, I'm Tiara Keller, and this is the very first episode of the Pressing My Way Genealogy web series. I am super excited to have you here because this is something that I have wanted to do for a very long time. This web project is coming over from my blog, Pressing My Way on WordPress. I'm more than happy to check that out. I'll leave the link in the bottom. But what I'm basically doing is I am starting over my entire family tree. Lots of years worth of work, but I realized that I made quite a few mistakes that I'm sure a lot of people make when they're starting out in genealogy, and I think that I owe it to myself to double check my research and to start over and have a chance to do it the right way by citing sources and making sure that I have all of the information from my sources that I could possibly gather from it. And I want to share it. I want to share my successes and I want to share my failures with not just you, but with also my family who may not have the time to sit and read through hours and hours worth of material. So what I've done is I have taken my information that I have done and I've pretty much tossed it all out. I'm starting with the basics, which is why this first episode is going to be titled Go for What You Know, because that's where you're supposed to start. You're supposed to start with yourself and you're supposed to do everything that you know and then build on from there. First thing we're going to do is we're going to create a brand new tree. I'm using Ancestry.com because their interface is the simplest that I found. I like it. Plus I have a DNA profile there, so pretty much everything just kind of goes perfectly together. I'm starting with myself because that's what I've always been told to do. And I'm not going to go against the grain by trying to do something difficult. No point in reinventing the wheel. So I'm going to put my information in and we're going to start from there. And I don't care if you guys know how old I am because knowing won't change anything. Okay, brand new tree. And I am starting with myself. I'm going to be doing my maternal line, and I will eventually break off elsewhere and do the other parts of my family, but they're going to be sort of in different areas and sections. She's going to kill me, but, you know, she'll get over it. So this is going to be the Pressing My Way family tree. Can you tell I've done this before? Allow others to view this tree. I am going to allow this to be a public tree so that if you would like, you can follow along. If you want to double check my research, I'd be more than happy to have a second opinion. And I would love for you to follow along because, hey, who knows, we could be related. Oh, look, a leaf. I am very hesitant when it comes to leaves now. When I first got started, I traced my family all the way back to King Henry VIII. If you know me, then you know that I am a huge fan of the Tudor dynasty and was elated to find out that we could be related. And then I realized that that wasn't true at all. I was nowhere near related, which is what prompted me to start fact-finding for my second tree that I had created. I've created quite a few trees. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the information that I know because this is all about going for what you know. I have a little bit of an advantage because my first 4 generations are pretty much self-written because I know who they are, myself, my mother, my grandmother, and my great-grandmother, and I can call them right now. You'll hear me mention them a lot. My mum, which is my grandmother Marva, and my mum Ringgold, which is my great-grandmother mum Ringgold. That's Claire Ringgold. She'll always be mum Ringgold. So when you hear me talk about Mom or Mom Ringgold, you'll know who they are. They have actually provided me with my very first cheat sheets, unbeknownst to them, because they created baby books for their children. My great-grandmother created one for my grandmother. My grandmother created one for my mother. This tree is scanned from my mother, Angela's baby book, created by my grandmother Marva. And it goes back a few generations to give me the information that I need to get started, right? So this is the first bit of information that I'm going to go ahead and put in the tree. So I went ahead and put everything in from the first tree, and now I'm going to move over to the second cheat sheet and enter everything from there. Add a little TV magic, and this is what we come up with. Pretty nice, huh? Alright, so if you've noticed, or maybe you haven't noticed, that all of the surnames are capitalized. And if there is no known surname, then it's left blank, as in the case with Susie. On the cheat sheet, she was listed as Susie Christie, but I know that that's her married name, so I don't really want to use that. And here I would know that her father is a Christie, I just don't know his first name. Okay, so we have my tree, and the first thing I'm going to do, I put my husband in just now, but the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my profile, and I'm going to start adding things that Ancestry.com may not know, as well as things that go along with my database. What is the database? So the database is my Excel spreadsheet that I created that has a detailed list of everything and everyone in it, starting with myself, of course. This is me, my birth date, I have a copy of my birth certificate, my birth registration, baptism certificates, my yearbook photos, my high school diploma, my son, my daughter's birth certificates, and so on and so forth. So I have this listing. And then what I do from there is I go to Evernote. I love Evernote. And in Evernote, I have the same list, a little more detailed, but the same list. And under this list, I have all of these things listed. The yearbook photos, I keep. I have the same listing of things that I've scanned in. So I don't have to worry about them disappearing. I know where they're at. And I have proof of what it is I'm looking for. Now, I have these in regular form of paper, but just helps keep things organized. I move over to my mother. I have her birth certificate. I have her marriage certificate. I have her social security card. For my grandmother, these are the documents that I have for her. And then I can also highlight and write out what's missing. Like here, I can see that I didn't scan my high school diploma. So just to recap, we have started a brand new tree. We have started a brand new database, put in all the information that we know, or that I know rather, about myself, and getting ready to move on to the next step, which is going to be filling in a detailed profile for every individual. This is where the fun starts to kick in because you start to learn a lot of things that you may or may not have known, and the research really begins. So hopefully you are just as into this as I am, and you will see me in the next episode of Pressing My Way. Bye bye.